Happy Thursday, TV family. We're back. 11th day of December, 2025. I am Dan Kuntz. What a Wednesday. Wow. First thing I'm going to throw at you is this. 68 degrees was our high yesterday. 68 degrees broke the record high for December 10th by 17 degrees. When we set record highs, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. It's usually by just a couple of degrees at most. Maybe 5 degrees would be outside the norm. But we don't break record high temperatures by 17 degrees. We did it yesterday. It was the second warmest December day ever measured, 34 degrees above normal for December 10th. And check this out. We've already set the record high temperature for today. At midnight, at 12:01, when it became December 11th, it was 63 degrees. We've already broken the old record on this date of 51 degrees, and that happened in the middle of the night. This is crazy. Huge winds. We had a rogue gust at 60 miles an hour at 11 o'clock last night. We have a lot to talk about, and it's all weather-related, travel-related. If you're living in the Upper Valley right now, Leavenworth area, for instance, you're probably not watching the show because Leavenworth pretty much has no juice. But they're working on it. Today's a good day. No wind. We're done with the rain. Most of the snow in the upper elevations that have been feeding all the rivers and streams and sending them way up their banks have all been melted. So we're going to catch a break. All of the people, the Chelan County PUD crews will be out all day today working on the power outages. Public Works for Chelan County. Public Works for the Department of Transportation. Stevens is still closed. Blewett's still closed. I-90 is still closed. They got a lot of tree and debris and some unstable hillsides. They just can't move the debris and the mud off the roadway and open the highway again. They got to make sure nothing else comes down. We have a lot to talk about today, and it's all going to be weather related. 68 degrees yesterday. I still can't wrap my head around that. That's just nuts. But again, pretty quiet. A lot of sunshine today, very mild. So it's about, now that we're through the worst part of it, for the most part, we're through the worst part of it. This is a perfect weather for the crews to get out and get the job done. Give them some leeway and give them some loves, because these guys probably, the folks who work in these departments probably didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and they're going to be working all day today. Let's get right to a few things we want to talk about. First of all, let's take a look-see around. There is the Wenatchee Heights camera. We can see stuff today, even though we're a half an hour away from sunrise, getting to some pretty short days around here. Good morning to the Wenatchee Heights. It's actually going to be a pretty nice day today. From the roof of the Cascadian, looking down at the intersection of Mission and 2nd Street. So that's the camera we used the other day, turning around, looking towards the south end. We have that pointed up towards the north just a little bit. That's basically Shakti's right in the middle of your screen there. Nice view there. Let's see what Monitor looks like today. It looks something like that. Monitor doesn't have too many power outages. There's still some pockets in Cashmere that have no power, but basically all the Upper Valley, almost from Peshastin all the way through Leavenworth, has absolutely no power at all. There's no school, by the way, in the Cascade School District today for obvious reasons. And one more view from our cameras around the valley. That is a live shot of one of the pylons of the Goodwin Bridge, the West Cashmere Bridge, the new bridge, whatever it is that you want to call it. Most of the locals, I think, still call it the Goodwin Bridge. And the Wenatchee River in Peshastin is going to be right at its peak on its flow a little bit later on this morning. We have a slide to show for you on that. It wasn't that long ago that you could walk across the Wenatchee River. Can't do that right now. From the Chelan PUD outage portal, this is all of Chelan. As you can see, there's some pockets of outages on the south shore of Lake Chelan and on the north shore of Lake Chelan in the Union Valley area. Stehekin is essentially without power right now. There are a little over 11,000 PUD customers without power. And here's a look at the Upper Valley. As you can see, pretty much all of Leavenworth without power. Pockets of, and all of Lake Wenatchee has zero power. There's no power at all in the Lake Wenatchee area. Most of Leavenworth is without power. Most of Plain is without power, and for reasons you might imagine. Tall trees, power lines, trees fall down, power lines go down with it. They have some transformers that are on the ground that are covered in water, especially in the Lake Wenatchee area. But again, as far as Mother Nature is concerned, the worst of the weather is over, but there's still landslide concerns. Not so much flooding right now. It's going to peak today, later on this morning. Now it's landslide concerns because the soils are just saturated with the moisture, so we could absolutely see some landslides. Could see some rocks coming down on 97A near the Knapp's Hill Tunnel. That's a regular issue as well. They got to clean up Snoqualmie and Blewett and Stevens, which is why they're all closed, while they get the mud out of the way and the trees and the debris. So we're still not out of the woods yet, but we're not going to have any rain today, and most of the snow in the upper elevations has now melted. That car belongs to Victor Barahona Lopez of Wenatchee, and his rig got hit by a tree that fell on his rig in Cole's Corner, right at the intersection of where Cole's Corner is on Highway 2. We understand he's not seriously hurt, but a tree fell down right on top of the windshield of Victor's truck. I understand, again, he was sent to Cascade, but I understand he's not too bad off. Here is the East Leavenworth Bridge, which is still closed. This is the Icicle Creek, which they're going to have to rename. That's no creek where I come from. Look how high up that is. I mean, right up to the very bottom of the pilings of the East Leavenworth Bridge, which is still closed, where the Icicle Creek rolls underneath it. Stevens Pass closed. Take a look at what they're going to have to deal with there. And as I already mentioned, it's not a matter of just cleaning up the mud and the debris and the trees. They have to evaluate the hillsides that are above Stevens Pass and I-90 and Blewett to make sure they don't have another landslide. So they got the folks who are experts in that working on that. Let's talk about flooding. The Wenatchee River at Beshaston is just about as high as it's going to get. This is not something we see at all this time of the year. This is usually a spring runoff situation, but it's just about at its peak, so it's a moderate flood level, not going to get anywhere near the record, and it's peaking right now, and it's going to slowly go down. Again, there's very little left to feed the Wenatchee River as it flows by Beshaston. And good news for you folks who live along the banks of the Aniak River, it's not going to flood. It's going to be right at bank full, but that's it. They were originally concerned yesterday about getting some flooding, especially in some of the areas immediately around the Aniak River near the Ardenvore area and all the way down to the Columbia River. They're breathing a sigh of release. Yes, relief. It's flowing high. It's flowing very muddy, sending a lot of debris into the Columbia River. You'll notice today the Columbia River is pretty brown too. In any event, no real problems with the Aniak River near Ardenvore. Whew. Now it says 58 for our high today. Now I've already mentioned we've already set the record for today because at midnight tonight we were at 63 degrees. So for the second day in a row, not only did we break the record high, we just smashed the record high, destroyed it by a bunch. A lot of sunshine today, very little wind. The wind was pretty strong when I got up at about 3 o'clock this morning, but by about 5 o'clock, at least here in the valley, the wind is done. So believe it or not, it's actually going to be a very pleasant day. But 58 degrees, 63 degrees, which is what we've already gotten on December 11th. That's unheard of. 42 for the overnight low tonight. That's very mild. Today we do it all over again, perhaps a little bit cooler with a high of 55 on Friday. By the way, our weather forecast is brought to you by our friends at Colonial Vista. Thank you very much. Mostly cloudy Friday night, 40 for the overnight low. Not a bad weekend. Saturday, sunshine, 53. Our normal high is supposed to be 35. By the way, we already broke the record today. We broke it yesterday by a bunch, broke it already today. We're going to break the record high temperature on Friday. We're going to break the record high temperature on Saturday. This is the kind of weather forecast that people are going to talk about, the kind of weather we're having. People are going to talk about this for years because this is not something that is anywhere near normal. And guess what starts happening on Sunday night? Another atmospheric river rolls in overnight Sunday night while you're sleeping. Monday, rain. Monday night, rain. Tuesday, rain. Tuesday night, rain. Wednesday, rain. It's beginning to look a lot not like Christmas. Do I have to pay royalties for that, Malcolm? I think I do because I sang enough words. We're going to take a break and then do the news on a very busy Thursday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today. Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
It is 12 minutes after the hour, 50 degrees. We already set the record high temperature for today. It was 63 at midnight, so we destroyed the record. We had 60, I know I'm having a hard time. 68 degrees yesterday. We've already hit 63 today. Record high temperatures, nice, quiet, benign weather. We're done with the rain. We're done with the wind for today and right through the weekend. The clouds return on Sunday and more rain come Monday. It's 12 minutes after the hour. The California driver who struck and killed a Leavenworth motorcyclist south of Coles Corner was found guilty Monday of vehicular homicide by a jury in Chelan County Superior Court after a 5-day trial. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports the sentencing hearing for Flim Anthony Gayan of San Jose is scheduled for January 13th. His attorney, Brandon Riedel, said he would, quote, most definitely be appealing the case to the Washington Court of Appeals, says there were irregularities during the jury deliberations as well as concerns with evidence that was allowed into the trial by Chelan County Judge Travis Brandt. Gayan was arrested on the night of August 24th of 2022. He had been traveling west in the eastbound lane of Highway 2, trying to pass traffic when his car struck a motorcycle being driven by 40-year-old Shane R. Walsh. Head on. When sentenced, Gayan could face 6.5 to 8.5 years in prison. The Port of Chelan County is proposing to share revenue from its planned Malaga Tax Increment Finance District in order to soothe the fears of lost revenue among junior taxing districts. The Chelan Douglas Port Authority wants to designate a 3,300 acre area as a TIF district. That's where future increases in property tax revenue will be captured to pay for specific public infrastructure improvements inside that area. But tax-funded entities, including the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department and Chelan County itself, have balked at the possibility of lost tax income. Port commissioners on Tuesday asked the CEO of the port, Jim Kuntz, to negotiate a 50-50 split with those entities on some TIF revenues collected once the district is established. The Chelan County Port Commissioners were due to vote on creating the district this week, but they've delayed that vote until December 23rd. Full disclosure, Jim Kuntz is one of my many, many siblings. It took a combination of resources to recover the body of an Antioch man missing since December 2nd. 24-year-old Justin Lassiter was found Monday inside his SUV, submerged in the Columbia River, right off Highway 97A. Sergeant Jason Reinfeld with the Chelan County Emergency Management Agency says Lassiter was last seen December 2nd driving north towards Antioch from Wenatchee, and the search began the next day after he failed to report to work or contact his family. Searches along the highway and in the Spokane and Aniak River valleys, they didn't turn up anything. But then on Monday, the weather cleared enough for a Chelan County Sheriff's helicopter to scan the Columbia from overhead. And Reinfeld says that's how the outline of Lassiter's sunken white Nissan Pathfinder was spotted. Divers and recovery workers found his body belted into the driver's seat. The cause of the fatal crash remains under investigation by the Washington State Patrol. The Cascade School District's Athletic Booster Club is raising money to support the bus driver who was injured in that fatal accident while transporting Cascade High School's wrestling team to a tournament up in Omak. The accident occurred early Saturday morning after a 2003 Ford Ranger skidded across the center line on Highway 97A just north of the Knapp's Hill Tunnel and struck the bus, which was being driven by 39-year-old Jose Solis of Wenatchee. The driver of the Ranger, 32-year-old Marco Trejo, he was taken by helicopter to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. He's still there. His passenger, who was identified by the Washington State Patrol as 63-year-old Mark Cowles of Aniak, he died in that crash. Solis was treated for his injuries at Lake Chelan Health, and the fundraiser is asking for donations to help pay for his meals and out-of-pocket expenses. You can donate to the effort by using the QR code you see right there on your screen. By the way, they're still investigating the exact cause of that crash. Back in September, we spoke with Governor Bob Ferguson during his visit to Wenatchee. He spoke to a convention of the Washington Building and Construction Trades Council. And while he was here in the big city, he took a windy tour of the Senator George Seller Bridge. He took it with Dan Lewis, who's the Assistant Regional Administrator for the DOT. In the video, which was just posted to social media this week, Ferguson and Lewis emphasized the governor's hope to invest in preserving transportation infrastructure when the state legislature begins debating its budget priorities starting next month. You can view the full video, by the way, by going to the governor's Facebook page or Instagram page. And the North Central Educational Foundation Board welcomed new representation for Grant and Okanagan counties. Christopher Nelson joined the board back in March. He brings with him financial expertise from his career in commercial banking. And Tom Venable, who previously worked in the Methow Valley School District, he was their superintendent for 12 years. He joined the board earlier this summer. Venable currently serves as the director of the Methow Housing Trust after a 30-year career in education. He was an elementary school teacher, a principal, and the deputy superintendent of the Bellingham Public School District. The foundation, created in 2008, and they distribute yearly teacher classroom grants to fund different activities in areas like the arts, STEM, environmental education, and more. We've been so busy, I forgot to mention my guest in the back half of the program. It is part 2 of my conversation with the soon-to-be retiring Chelan County Coroner, my friend Wayne Harris. It's a great conversation. We talked quite a bit about the Decker case in our second half of our interview. We'll have that for you. And also, it's Thursday. It's Pause for Pets. A dog needs a permanent home. I wanted to get that out of the way. The news tonight, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Stay in the loop, 5, 6, and 10 on television. Available to you online on our YouTube page. Right around 5 o'clock, we'll put a link in our Facebook page. We have an app. Very proud of it. We have an email address, which you don't necessarily have to be proud of. If you got news tips, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. The Kraken won in dramatic fashion. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
The holiday season is here, and life is hectic. Let Merry Maids help simplify yours. You expect a lot, and Merry Maids delivers more. They'll make your home or business sparkle for holiday parties, special events, and family gatherings. They'll customize the cleaning to fit your needs and your budget. Merry Maids are cleaning experts. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Best of all, your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Visit online, merrymaids.com, and call for a free estimate. Then you can relax. It's done.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
Sports at 21 minutes after the hour. If you like hockey and you like power plays, you would have loved last night's game. Vince Dunn, the hero. He scored on a power play goal, a minute 25 into overtime, and the Seattle Kraken snaps their losing streak last night. They beat the LA Kings 3-2. Matty Beniers tied the game for the Kraken with a power play goal with 25 seconds left in regulation. Jared McCann also scored for Seattle, who wins their first game since November 23rd.
Byfield breaks his stick. Dunn shoved out. Everly touch pass into the skates of Beniers. Now Stevenson for Dunn. One-timer. What's the lamp on the power play? 1-0 Seattle.
More time and space already with the man advantage to move the puck around. The one touch. And McCann, a beautiful shot. I spoke to him this morning, and he talked about the importance of him finding space to use his shot. Yes, this was on the power play, but excellent read. He's just in the high slot.
McCann down the middle, fires and ricochets to the tall glass. Beniers keeps it alive. Everly off the glove of Forsberg. Great chance. Seattle gets possession back. Less than a half minute on their power play now. Montour to gain the line, and he stick checked. Armia will lead LaFerriere, a shorthanded breakaway to tie the game. He scores! Alex LaFerriere, shorthanded. A double minor lead in the third period, putting them on the power play. Fiala to the net. He scores! Upstairs, Kevin Fiala has given the Kings the lead on the power play.
They weren't quite there yet when Montour released the shot.
Kopitar wins this cleanly. Kempe hammers it around the boards. Dunn keeps it in. Passes down low. Tolvanen with 26 seconds. Centering. Score! Matty Beniers has tied it!
So this time it was Dunn that has the puck at the point, and Tolvanen looks high, and then you see Beniers coming in front, and you have numbers down low. You see 3 Seattle Kraken players there. Excellent look. Beniers, the ability to find the space and to beat Forsberg. You see the airtime. He gets midair. The skates are off the ice in celebration. Continue on this theme of the league we talked about.
Seattle to dump the puck in. Time will run out, and this game will head to overtime. Seattle looking for the winner on the man advantage. 4 against 3. Everly leaving it for Tolvanen. One-timer. Scores! Vince Dunn in overtime, and the Kraken snap their losing streak. A comeback victory over the LA Kings in overtime.
The man advantage, and from there it's Everly that just goes up to the point, play a little catch here, and then there's some motion and the quick puck movement yet again. Tolvanen, and that's where they found success on all of their goals tonight. It was the passing plays, the puck moving quickly for them to generate the looks that they wanted.
The first time this season Seattle has scored multiple power play goals in a game, all 3 of them wound up coming on the man advantage.
The Kraken will be in Salt Lake City, by the way, tomorrow night against Utah. The puck will drop at 6 o'clock on Kong TV. The Cougar women's basketball team has just been struggling. They lost to Eastern Washington in Pullman, 71-69 last night. Eastern had a big lead. Cougars came back, but it wasn't enough. Eastern upsets the Lady Cougs. Prep basketball, they were supposed to play a doubleheader, by the way, last night in Leavenworth, Cascade, and Omak. You can't play when you don't have electricity in the gym. That's been postponed. So there's just nothing to talk about in prep, but there is that going on. Doubleheader for the Annie Adam Manson girls and boys. The girls at 6 o'clock, boys at 7:30. Same deal for Lake Roosevelt at Liberty Bell. Girls tip off at 6 o'clock and the boys at 7:30. Well, for the second time in 3 years, Eastmont High School is going to be looking for a new head football coach. Jay Foster will not be returning for a third year. He was hired a couple of years ago to take over from Michael Don to lead Eastmont's program. Word came out over the weekend that Foster would be stepping down. The Eastmont football Facebook page included a thank you from the coaching staff and a word to returning players that the offseason is theirs to master until they found a new coach. Our own Eric Granstrom had a chance to speak with Russ Waterman, the athletic director at Eastmont. He says he was just posting the position and would have more to add next week. Waterman says he's heading to a national conference and will have a clearer picture of what happens next when he gets back. Foster was an assistant under Coach Michael Don for 7 seasons. Then he took over as head coach in 2024. Eastmont was 11-8 in Foster's 2 years as the head coach, and they lost in the first round of the playoffs both years. Eastmont's looking for a new football coach. Wenatchee has a new golf coach. His name is Frank Brandt. He's been the assistant coach for a couple of years. He'll take over the head coaching duties at Wenatchee High School. Besides golf, Brandt has been a business and marketing teacher at the high school and is currently teaching at Westside High School, and he leads the mock debate team. Go get him, Coach Brandt. I applied for that job, but I'm not a very good golfer. And besides, nepotism might be an issue. It's 27 minutes after the hour. It is Republic Day in Madagascar, ironically enough, where 69% of the people in Madagascar live in abject poverty. It's Independence Day in Burkina Faso. That's in Africa, Burkina Faso, where they've had 7 coups in 60 years, so not a lot of independence there. Today is National App Day. Today, there's an app for that. If you use a tablet instead of a smartphone, you spend about 3 times more for an app than a smartphone user does. I don't know why. About 90% of your time on this thing is spent using an app. There are about 10 million apps out there, but the average person only uses about 10 apps a day. Most of them even use less than that. Hey, there's our app. Download it if you haven't. The top 10 most installed apps. Are you ready? Number 1, ChatGPT. GPT. I don't have it. Number 9 is Snapchat. Number 8 is Threads. Number 7 is CapCut. I don't know what that is. Number 6 is Telegram. The 5th most downloaded app is Temu. Temu? Help me out. I don't have that either. Number 4 is WhatsApp. Number 3 is Facebook. No surprise there. The 2nd most downloaded app is Instagram. And number 1, TikTok. I only have like 2 of those apps on my phone. Today is National App Day, which is why all government offices are closed. Today in history, guess that flag. Well, this isn't going to be too hard. There are names on it. You got that? You see it? Happy birthday, Indiana. The Crossroads of America is 209 years old today. Joined the Union on this date in 1816. That's their motto, the Crossroads of America. From 1880 to 1924, a resident of Indiana was in all but one presidential election. That's remarkable. Indiana was the very first state in the Union to publicly finance a public school system, and 90% of Indiana's children attend public school and graduate. That is by far the highest in the nation. They are called Hoosiers, natives of Indiana. The term Hoosier, nobody seems to know where it came from. It just showed up one day. India, you see the state flag? That was to celebrate their centennial. Indiana is 209 years old, but they didn't have a state flag until they turned 100 years old. And then they all looked around and said, we should probably have a state flag. So they did that. So as state flags go, it's pretty good. And a personal note, my fraternal grandfather, my dad's dad, Hilbert, was born and raised in Santa Claus, Indiana. Just thought I'd throw that out there. King Charles would not be king today if his great uncle hadn't quit. Can you imagine that? It's true, though. Edward VIII abdicated on this date in 1936, 89 years ago today. He was succeeded by his younger brother, Al. Al changed his name. When you're the king, you can change your name. Charles didn't do that. So Albert became King George VI after his older brother, Edward VIII, quit the job so he could marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee. George VI's eldest daughter, Elizabeth II, would become queen, and then her oldest son, Charles, is now the king. That's right, they get their job through no other qualification whatsoever except being born. I guess not a bad gig, if you think about it. 1941, December 11th, FDR and his military, they had a problem. It was Japan and not Germany or Italy that attacked the United States. Declaring war on Japan was easy. They attacked us. But they also knew that the real problem was Nazi Germany. They're the ones that we really had to defeat if we were going to win World War II. How do we do this? How do we declare war on Germany and Italy because they really haven't done anything to us? Well, Germany and Italy on this date made it easy for FDR. They beat us to them. Germany and Italy declares war on us before we had a chance to do it to them. Needless to say, in return, we declared war on Germany and Italy. Roosevelt said, we got to declare war on Germany and Italy, but they didn't attack us. People wanted blood from Japan, not necessarily Germany. Well, thanks to Germany and Italy, they made it easy for him. If you've ever seen the movie Goodfellas, you know all about this. One of the most famous robberies in New York City history happened on this date in 1978. 8 members and associates of the Lucchese crime family steals about $8 million in cash and jewelry from the Lufthansa cargo terminal at JFK International Airport in New York City. At the time, it was the largest cash robbery in this country's history. It's the equivalent of $24 million today. The mastermind of the plot, Jimmy Burke, one of the capos in the Lucchese crime family, was never convicted of anything, but Jimmy Burke either personally murdered or ordered the murder of 9 other people who either participated in the robbery or knew who did it. So he had a bunch of the associates who pulled it off killed. And by the way, the money and the jewelry, the equivalent to $23 million today, was never found. That's basically the plot of Goodfellas, if you've seen that movie. And for the greatest, it was over. Muhammad Ali's trainers, his family, his handlers, everybody said, Muhammad, it's over. Stop fighting. You're 39 years old. He wouldn't listen to them. And on this date, the end came to the greatest of all time. 39-year-old Muhammad Ali loses his 61st and final fight to Trevor Berbick in a unanimous decision. It was held in the Bahamas, because there was not a boxing commission in this country that would grant Muhammad Ali a license to box. And 1 hour before the fight was scheduled to begin, the promoter went to the dressing rooms of both Trevor Berbick and Muhammad Ali and said, by the way, I don't have enough money to pay you. They got paid. For Muhammad Ali, it was over. Let's do some birthdays. In a poll at the end of the 20th century, he was voted the greatest mayor in this country's history. He was the mayor of New York City from 1934 to 1945, served 3 terms. Fiorello LaGuardia, the mayor of New York City. He was only 5 foot 2 inches tall. He was a Republican. He's considered the original Rhino, the Republican in name only, because almost all of his policies were progressive or liberal. He changed New York City's transit, public housing, public parks, law enforcement. He was incredibly popular. He cleaned out City Hall. He brought out all the people who just were sitting around collecting money. He got rid of the spoils system and actually brought in qualified public servants to help run New York City, the great Fiorello LaGuardia. By the way, who finished 3rd in that poll of the greatest mayors in American history? My brother. No, he didn't. The poll was taken in 1999. Walter Knott. He was a failed farmer. It wasn't working real good for old Walter Knott. He grew berries and didn't do it very good. And then one day in the 1920s, he came up with a hybrid boysenberry. He combined the blackberry, red raspberry, and a loganberry and came up with this big, beautiful, ripe berry in Southern California, and people loved it. They would go to his farm and they would buy the berries and the jams and the preserves and these pies, and they started raking in the dough, and then Walter Knott said, honey, let's open up a fried chicken stand. The fried chicken was so good that people would wait for hours to eat the fried chicken, and so he bought a bunch of fences and bought a bunch of Old West movie sets, fenced off his property, and started an amusement park to keep people occupied while they waited for their berry pies and their fried chicken dinners. Thus was born Knott's Berries Farm. Walter Knott, born in the state in 1889, and one of only 15 people to get an EGOT. She has an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, a remarkable achievement. She's one of the very few people to win the Grand Slam of acting. She won a competitive acting Oscar, a competitive acting Tony, and a competitive acting Emmy. Rita Moreno, the legend, is 94 years old today. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors with yesterday's high of 68 degrees. My heater didn't go on. I know it's been insanely weird weather, not only this month, but November as well. Eventually, I think it's going to get cold. I don't know. When it does, make sure your system can handle it. Your first call should always be to Alpine Air. Wayne Harris is retiring after nearly 20 years as being Chelan County's coroner. We had a fascinating conversation with Wayne. Part 2 of that conversation airs today. You can watch Part 1 via YouTube on yesterday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. But first things first, Flint the dog. Flint the dog needs a permanent home. It's Pause for Pets.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, Animal Care Manager, and today I have with me Flint. Flint is our 3-year-old husky mix, and he's a very beautiful boy. He's shedding a little bit right now, but it's really soft. Yeah. We've had Flint for about 2 months now, which is a long time for this active boy. He really likes going on walks and running and doing the zoomies, and he loves playing, and he's so much fun. He's got a lot of personality, along with the fur. Flint loves to play, and he loves to play fetch. That's his favorite. Loves when we throw him balls. Yeah. And he loves stuffed animals and licking your face. Yeah. He's got a lot of puppy in him. Flint came to us as a stray, so we don't know anything about his background. We don't know how he is with cats. He has a few dog friends here, but he can be selective, which, as usual, is why we always suggest that you bring your dog in, if you have one, so that they can meet and see if they're both as goofy as the other. Flint loves belly scratches. He just loves interacting with people, however you want to. I think Flint would be a great family dog, especially for an active family because he's so active. He'd be great on hikes and runs and just goofing around. Maybe small kids. He's a little jumpy, but not too much. So I don't know, maybe older kids would be better. But he is a sweetheart. He's really affectionate. And I think that any family would fall right in love with this boy. Also, Flint's adoption fee is already paid for. So he is ready to go. He's got all of his shots, he is neutered, and his adoption fee is covered. Yes, by a generous donor. So if you'd like to come meet our Flint, we are open from 12:30 to 6, Thursday through Tuesday, and we would love to introduce you.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
you need a good brushing, buddy. Jeez.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Order ready for Susan?
During the holiday rush, those might be the best words you can hear all week. At Abby's, you get a night off from cooking, a place to gather with family, and easy holiday catering that everybody loves. For legendary pizza and hospitality, visit Abby's.com. Aloha and Melikaliki Maka from Abby's. End your year with a tropical twist. Our big Hawaiian pizza at a legendary holiday price. Plus, earn $5, $10, $20 or more in free pizza with our holiday gift card offer. Abby's, a legendary holiday pizza tradition.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, here's a poser for you. So Donald Trump runs against Hillary in 2016 and he wins. Now, evidently, that election was fair and there have been no voting shenanigans. But when Trump loses in 2020, suddenly the methods and other voting skullduggery was so egregious that the big lie that the election had been stolen from Trump was not only spouted but incredibly believed by 60% of those in this country who identify as evangelical Christians. But then Trump wins in 2024 and suddenly the election process is honest and free from any malfeasance. Well, isn't that amazing? So what's the question? Did some sort of a miracle occur? Or is our bully-in-chief just spouting lies his supporters are fully willing to support even in the face of reality? Well, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Welcome to Bliss, Population U. This is the you that appreciates the warmth of a good coat and the fit of a purposeful boot. At Coastal, we want to be your partner in finding your bliss. We are hopeful and helpful because we're about this community. So when you're looking for a place called Bliss, trust Coastal, your country lifestyle superstore. Coastal, we're just what the country needs.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
You come alive in the dead of winter and start work early on snow days, because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to move, plow, blow, and thrive in the winter. So when the snow falls, you can rise to meet it. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $4,300.
Who makes the determination that we need to call the coroner, be it at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then say it's a welfare check. We haven't heard from Jones for 5 or 6 days, and they find his body in his house or his apartment, or there's an accident. Who makes the determination that got to call Wayne on his cell phone, and he's got to come out and do his job? How does that process work?
Generally, that's law enforcement. So every death in the county is the jurisdiction of the coroner. Now, there's some death.
Regardless of the circumstances?
Yes, the coroner can take jurisdiction on any death, anywhere, anytime. Naturally, hospital deaths and nursing home deaths, we don't get called on. Those are all pretty much attended medically.
Hospice?
Yes, hospice. We do get notified of hospice deaths because they die at home. All home deaths are reported to us. Accidents, suicides, homicides, undetermined type of deaths, like somebody's young and they're found dead. Those are all called to us. So when law enforcement or medics get to a scene and somebody's dead in the chair, then they call us, and we determine on the phone whether we're going to go to the scene and investigate it that way, or just take the report and release the person to the funeral home. If they're older and have medical history, then we find a doctor, their doctor will sign the death certificate. If there's no doctor to sign, then we'll examine the body and sign it ourselves.
Talk about the first day of June of this year, that Monday. The call comes, the Decker girls are missing, their father is on, we don't know what happened to the father. They find the bodies a couple of days later. Talk about what that week or 2 weeks initially among the investigation on something that simply does not happen. Homicides are rare, extraordinarily rare in Chelan County. Triple homicides are unheard of. Triple homicides involving 3 young, vibrant girls is beyond mind-blowing. Talk about that time period for you personally, Wayne.
Well, when we heard they were missing, I had this really bad feeling in my stomach. I've been around long enough to know that sometimes fathers have issues and might want to strike back at the former spouse, and so that was a bad feeling. And then when they found the girls, I personally didn't go to the scene. My coworker was on, but I ended up in the office handling the media. The national media was relentless. They all wanted information, and we didn't have it to give at the time, so that took a lot of effort. And just the whole pall over the office, or the dark pall hanging over the office, and the county for that matter, was just really palpable. It was, like you said, unfathomable that could happen in our little valley. And in my 40 years, I've never been involved in any type of deaths like that, where their three young, beautiful daughters were killed.
I thought all of those in law enforcement, your line of work, Chelan County Sheriff's Department, Wenatchee Police Department, the initial investigating unit, State Patrol participated. I thought the professionalism in the investigation was handled with aplomb. I thought everybody did a tremendous job considering the circumstances.
Absolutely, yeah. And in a case like that, where you don't know where the father is or the victim or the suspect is, you have to do it by the book, because if he's caught and goes to trial, you don't want any missteps.
And then in September, you got another call.
We did.
Clothing, skeleton, personal items. Talk about that.
Yeah, so the clothing they found, and they were basing the clothing off of the fact that that's what he was wearing, and so they kind of put out that was him. But in our office, we can't use circumstantial evidence. We need science. So we need visual, we need dental, we need DNA. So we were backtracking, trying to say, just because his clothes doesn't mean it was him. There were probably 5 spots where some skeletal remains were recovered. They were several hundred yards apart. Most likely an animal had moved him around, moved the body around. So we only found a couple arm bones, a foot bone, or not we, but they only found arm bones, a foot bone, a leg, a finger, and some vertebrae. There were probably about 12 bones found in total. So the torso was not found and the cranium was not found. The bones that were found were DNA'd and they positively matched Travis Decker.
And they also determined that there was no way a human being could have physically walked or hiked to that location. It was just inaccessible, really. There were no trails or anything like that to that respect.
That I'm not sure on, but I believe that the forensic psychologist thought maybe he went up there and he could have a clear view of the scene. And he might have watched for a little while. The big question I kept getting in some of the interviews was, how did he die? And I said, we don't know. We don't have enough skeletal remains to determine that. Now, if his cranium is found at some point and there's a bullet hole in it, or it's cracked, it looks like he fell or jumped, then we might be able to say. So he could have died from the elements, he could have died from drug overdose, he could have fallen.
And we probably will never really know.
I don't think we'll ever know. Yeah, there's just so many ways he could have perished.
All in all, just a tough way for your last year to end, really, in that respect. You're retiring at the end of the year. What are you going to do next, by the way? What's next for Wayne?
Well, I golfed once last year. I golfed once the year before. That's not enough.
Not enough.
So hopefully I'll be able to get back on the golf course. Hope to take more motorcycle vacations. I will enjoy the grandkids more. And I keep thinking I will take a part-time job, but I don't know what yet. And I'm not going to make that decision for a few months to see how my life
You're going to
goes.
miss out on the new facility.
I will.
They're building you a new facility out there in Old Station, badly needed.
Yes.
Where your offices are now are cramped. Doesn't work for you for the growing needs of Chelan County. You're going to miss out on the new digs out there in Old Station.
I am, but I'm glad it's finally happening.
In your line of work, I know this sounds like a bizarre question, what's a good day for Wayne Harris at the end of the day, the end of a shift? You're not on call. What's a good day for you?
A good day is to get reports done and not get any calls.
And is that more good days than bad, I hope?
Yeah, there are more good days than bad. Typically we'll get a call, even if it's a hospice call, hospice death, we'll get those about every day.
Did you just assume when your cell phone rings at 1:30 in the morning on a Tuesday that it's not good news? You just brace yourself for it?
Yeah, it shows up Rivercom. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah. Why is your job partisan? I've known Dave in the treasurer's office for years, just next door to you, and Skip Moore and these guys, great public servants.
Yes.
Their jobs are by definition partisan. Elections. Why is the coroner a partisan job? It's probably the least partisan county job you can have.
Right. Well, I asked that same question to the Republican committee. Freddie Simpson, remember Freddie?
Sure. We miss Freddie.
Yes. And I said, why? Why is it an elected position? And the only answer that I could get was because we have a budget, and the budget is county funds, and we need to be accountable, transparent, and open to inspection if somebody wants to audit us. And that's the only thing I could get.
I'll let you have the last word, Wayne. Any message you have for the folks of Chelan County as you try to lower your handicap from a 17 to a 9? I'll let you have the final word. Take it home, Wayne.
Well, I really appreciate the privilege and their trust in electing me year after year. I hope that I've made the situation for people whose loved ones passed away a little bit easier. I know I've made mistakes. I've tried to own those mistakes and right those mistakes. There are some families who I'm sure are not pleased with the findings that we had. We did our best to explain to them, and if we needed to, we would go out of the way to do extra examinations just to put their mind at ease. But I really appreciated the opportunity to serve, and I hope that I made a big difference in people's lives.
Happy retirement, my friend. I'll see you around.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell you, from a personal standpoint, Wayne is a wonderful guy, great sense of humor. I wouldn't associate, if I just met you off the street, the last job I would ever thought that Wayne E. Harris was a coroner. I would never have thought that for a million years.
Well, when you're in the funeral business, and I assume in the coroner, you have to have a sense of humor or else you'll go crazy.
Yeah.
Dr. Rapay had a good sense of humor. He was funny. You have to have it. It's a stress reliever.
Wayne Harris, happy retirement, my friend.
Thank you.
I will see you on the first tee.
Great.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
All right, if you're just joining us, we've already set the record high for today. It was 51, now it's 63. It was 63 degrees shortly after midnight when December 10th became December 11th. We hit 68 degrees on December 10th yesterday. We broke the record high by 17 degrees. We have a live shot we want to show to you from our PTZ cameras of the pilings, the footings, one of the footings anyway, at what most of the locals I think call still the Goodwin Bridge. It's the new bridge in Kashmir, the West Kashmir Bridge. And the reason we wanted to show that to you as a friendly reminder is that it wasn't that long ago. It was about 2 feet deep in water. It's not anymore. It is right at major flood stage. This is a brand new screenshot. We just took this about 15 minutes ago. The blue bar is currently where it is at, and you can see it will eventually, as the day goes on, slowly go back down. It's going to take a long time to do it, but it is right at the major flood range. This is the Wenatchee River at Peshastin, where it meets at Peshastin. That is where the monitoring station is. It is roaring, and it's taking a lot of mud and debris with it along the Wenatchee River. Again, that photo is in Kashmir. The measuring stick is at the Wenatchee River at Peshastin. But good news for you folks in the Anayatt Valley, you dodged a bullet. It is pretty much almost at its peak right now, minor flood stage. The Anayatt River measuring station is in Ardenvor, not down to the Columbia River, so it looks like they are in the clear. If you live in the Upper Valley, you might not be watching this show because you don't have electricity. Pretty much all of Leavenworth has no electricity. All of Lake Wenatchee, the North Shore, the South Shore, Kaler Glen, no juice right now. Plain, no juice right now. Along the Chumpstick, no juice right now. There are currently 11,000 PUD customers without power. And I didn't mention this at the start of the show, I'll mention it now. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office responded to 102 calls yesterday, almost all of them in the Upper Valley, about power lines being down, trees across the roadway, mud and water across the roadway. Those guys need a break. Keep the folks in mind for the Chelan County PUD power crews. They're going to be at it all day today. Public Works for the PUD, Chelan County Department of Transportation. Stevens still closed, Blue is still closed, I-90 still closed. From the National Weather Service, we catch a break. Sunshine, now again, high temperature 58, we've already done that. We've actually cooled down. It's 46 right now in the Wenatchee Valley. Lots of sunshine, very little wind today. So you can't ask for better weather to get everything back to normal again. 42 for the overnight low. Lots of sunshine, extraordinarily mild temperatures. We're going to break a record high on Friday. We're going to break a record high on Saturday. Close on Sunday. Guess what happens Sunday night into Monday? Another atmospheric river rolls into our viewing area. It's going to rain Sunday night. It's going to rain Monday. It's going to rain Monday night. It's going to rain Tuesday. Control, Alt, Delete. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.